and welcome to another edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, DT Critic, bringing you all the trending news you wish were buried, but we drug up anyway, and now it's searching for brains. Basically, it's world news tonight for zombies. We'll be passing out the brains to feed on later. Welcome to Volume 20. If you have stuck with us for the previous 19, we're sorry. We will hand out cards for a good therapist after the show. Nevertheless, we thank you for sticking with us. And now that I've finished all that nonsense, let's get to it, shall we? Story number 1. We are the world. We are the quitters. Welcome to the world of professional quitting. Whoever can quit faster and louder than anyone else will get the booby prize, which I suppose isn't such a bad thing if you aren't the booby. But if all you want is to be known for something, I suppose pulling out of the Masters a mere 9 holes in would be up there in the ranks of world-class professional quitting. So, for our latest example of professional foul-ups, we have Kevin Na. Getting onto golf's biggest stage and leaving after 9 holes has to come with some big chutzpah, and Na most certainly has that, quitting the tournament only 9 holes in. Don't get me wrong, struggling through 9 holes, especially if you aren't playing particularly well, does make one think about packing it all in. But to do it on one of golf's most prestigious stages, the Masters, and we are talking about all-time flops. According to the Na camp, it was because of some undisclosed illness. And fair enough, that could happen, but quitting under dire circumstances is always what separates the greats from the merely also-rans. Michael Jordan had his flu game, scoring 38 points with flu-like symptoms from food poisoning at the 1997 NBA Finals. Kobe Bryant was food poisoned in an NBA Finals game in New Jersey. He dominated the next game. We know them because of their perseverance. Will Kevin go down as a golf great? I'm going to say, nah. Story number 2. Lizzo and Jack Black, couple of the universe. We have some classic couples in the history of the universe, whether storied couples in plays like Romeo and Juliet, ones that broke up famous rock bands like John Lennon and Yoko Ono, or ones we root for as they turned on-screen romance to real-life partners like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. But look out there, universe. We now have a couple which is going to rock the millennium. Jack Black and Lizzo. Our latest venture into this television goldmine comes with The Mandalorian, who in the latest episode has Jack Black as the daffy husband of Lizzo, who is Duchess of the Outer Rim planet Plazir 15. Captain Bombardier, which I suppose is as good a name as any for the Jack Black incarnations on screen, feels like a parody of a parody, while Lizzo rules the world all from a floating platform. To say this is an odd pairing is an understatement. Maybe they are preparing us for the next odd couple. Or maybe the greatest story we wish they never told. We think these star-crossed lovers should have never crossed their stars. But who are we to argue against true love? Story number 3. Precocious 9-year-olds living the dream. Rory McIlroy as judge, jury, and executioner doesn't exactly sound right. After all, when talking about Mr. McIlroy, you are talking about golf. You aren't exactly inspiring the kind of fear a wrestler or someone in a biker gang might. And you wouldn't exactly pick him to survive in a Middle Ages battle, even if his weapon of choice might be a club. But McIlroy evidently has sought out to be the executioner of the former number 1 golfer of the universe in Tiger Woods, and he has done so since the age of 9. At 9 years old, we might have done a lot of foolish things. We might have tried to ride the back of a car on a skateboard like Michael J. Fox did in Back to the Future, or we might have snuck into a closed building late at night and played around. But rarely do we think about writing letters to our idol and telling them to watch their back. Evidently, that is just what the Junior McIlroy did, at the age of 9. Using the 9-year-old equivalent of an old Western gun battle, McElroy wrote, "I'm coming to get you. This is the beginning. Watch this space." Whether or not you believe he reached Tiger's Peak, you have to credit him some big brass big ones at a young age. And he is on top of the golf world as of this moment. But pride goeth before a fall, and this one has been raging since 9. We will be watching. Story number 4, A Burrito Lover's Dream, A Burrito Worker's Nightmare. Once upon a time, there was a Mexican fast food establishment. They had all kinds of delicious meals there before it was brought up and corporatized by the owners of Carl's Jr.'s and Hardee's. This place was called the Green Burrito. And while they had this amazing food, the lore of the place dealt with the Big Ed Burrito, and a picture on the wall of a 5'9" rather thin woman wolfing down what would be 3 giant burritos totaling 7+ pounds all in one sitting. She was bet a hefty sum she couldn't do it, and once she did it, she was bet again. She was able to accomplish this ridiculous feat of culinary edification at least 2 times, and so she goes down in ignominy, or celebratory, depending on your view of burrito eating fame. Now that most green burritos are gone and the Big Ed long gone, some TikTokers are trying to bring the ridiculously sized burrito thing back. Through some secret ordering at Chipotle, you can double protein and double veggie everything until you have a nearly 10-pound monstrosity, taking 4 different burrito shells to be able to wrap. And what's insane? With coupons, it costs a measly $8.36. And normally, it would just be around $15. Chipotle employees are mocking the trend. Some of the franchise owners are glad it hasn't really trended like it might. Yet. Despite having over 15 million views on TikTok. And all I'm picturing is a thin 5'9" woman heartily laughing out loud. Ah, for the love of culinary madness. Story number 5, When Shaving Off the Goatee Puts One in Jeopardy. COVID took many things from us. Not that COVID took Alex Trebek, but he passed in that godforsaken year COVID began. And as a result, Jeopardy has been wandering in the wilderness ever since, with multiple hosts and never quite getting the right feeling. A good Jeopardy champion always seems to make things right. Sometimes they can stay on for weeks at a time while we watch with bated breath who will be the person to take him out. But with the latest champion, it's a question of survival. Literally. As cutting off his nice goatee before the show has his audiences in a furor. Not to take my own pot shot at the guy, but after seeing the before and after pictures of him, it leaves me wondering what he was thinking cutting off the goatee. Not that it was a particularly great one, but the new look has him receiving comparisons which are a little less than ideal, and he has been compared in looks to a former German leader with a little less than ideal track record. I think he should have gone in and dressed like Charlie Chaplin, and then at least he could have argued that they were just describing the wrong look-alike he was trying to be. Instead, regaled in his brown suit, he does have the look of someone that Adolf might have hired as a doppelganger for public appearances to avoid assassination. Unfortunately for Mr. Henniger, no one took him aside beforehand to reconstruct that look, and he's now receiving so much hate he has quit social media altogether. So I'm telling him, as a person who does not want to see a live assassination on his Jeopardy program, please bring back the goatee you once used to grace, or dress like Charlie Chaplin. I cannot vouchsafe your life otherwise. And that's all she wrote for another week down the rabbit hole, our Volume 20 edition. Please leave us a note in the comments, or if on Twitter, reply or comment about stories that you are interested in, things you like, or lots of hate mail. Preferably lots of hate mail, so I can take it all in and laugh at you all behind your back while throwing it in a round circular file. This is DT Critic signing off saying, Jack Black and Lizzo, what the hell were they thinking?